So for reaction now to what Hillary Clinton said and much more, joining me now, Fox News contributor Tony Sayegh and former Bill Clinton pollster and Democratic strategist Bernard Whitman. All right, so what do you make of what Hillary Clinton said first, Tony, that, we really don't need to have any more investigation? And then also, Bernard, what do you make of the fact that Democrats probably are not going to join this committee right now? You first.
Well, Hillary's comments are clearly self-serving. She is at the center of the Benghazi conflict and scandal, and anything that we learn beyond this point could only serve to hurt her. What's troubling to me is Hillary knows more than most people because as a young attorney, she served on the Watergate committee that was investigating the president at the time. It is the cover-up very often worse than the crime that we really need to know about. And in this matter, there clearly was a Benghazi cover-up. We see it now connected right to the West Wing and the White House with the Ben Rhodes email that brings it to the political team and the president. And in this case, the cover-up also prevented the response. And that is where Hillary has culpability.
Select committee. In a perfect world, it would be Democrats and Republicans, I guess, so that you could say that, hey, both parties are represented. But now it looks like the Democrats don't want to join it, Bernard.
Gretchen, what is most troubling to me, and honestly, Tony, it's particularly troubling because I like you so much, the fact that the Republicans are using the deaths of 4 Americans to generate political gains is really disgusting. This issue has been investigated. It was investigated in the State Department. There was a congressional investigation. And now, because this Congress refuses to take action on any other matters of national security to this country, like immigration, like tax reform, like creating jobs.
Wait a minute. The Senate has not taken action on a whole bunch of bills.
You're tying up the entire Congress in investigation after investigation after investigation. But the Republicans are addicted to investigations here. That's what the problem with this Congress is.
But that seems to be the line, Tony, doesn't it? Jay Carney has been talking, using those exact words, Bernard, investigating investigation and conspiracy theory, which is now apparently what the defense is going to be. And you say?
Well, look, this is the same Democrat Party that investigated Iran-Contra for 7 years, that investigated the Abu Ghraib prison scandal and demanded the resignation of Don Rumsfeld. In both those instances, not one American life was necessarily lost. Iran-Contra obviously was a larger picture. But the matter is that we know this White House has lied. Jay Carney, you mentioned him specifically, has lied. He is really saying things that we have proof that are not true. So the fact that we say we want to investigate things to death, it's because the truth has not yet come out from the White House.
Speaking of the truth, what Catherine just reported, you saw Senator Sessions, I believe, on the floor saying that, look, when Judicial Watch asked for these documents, they got more than when Congress asked, because there's a criminal offense involved if you lie to a FOIA request, but apparently not to Congress.
Well, I think, look, this investigation is going to obviously go forward, and I think the reason why the Democrats are not going to choose to participate right now is that they understand that the context of this is a political witch hunt. They're out to lay the predicate to embarrass Secretary Clinton, who likely will run for president. This is what it's about. It's about let's investigate the Clintons
again. What about
again.
This other story? Because there's a big development in the House last night as more than 24 Democrats, 24, joined with House Republicans calling for an investigation into the IRS scandal. So earlier this year, President Obama saying there wasn't, quote, a smidgen of corruption. The White House claiming the IRS's targeting of conservative nonprofits a phony scandal. But the House Ways and Means Committee finding new details.
The committee uncovered new information indicating that after groups provided the information to the IRS, nearly 1 in 10 donors were subject to audit. Any abuse of discretion in audit selection must be identified and stopped.
All right. So, Bernard, first and foremost, 26 Democrats last night said, you know what? We agree with the Republicans. We do need to have somebody look into the IRS scandal a little bit closer. So how do you defend that now, that it could be still a phony scandal?
Well, look, I think the fact that 10% of these donors were targeted for audit is troubling, but that is based on 3 groups. That's 10% of the groups. That's hardly a representative sample. We all know that the Be on the Lookout list included Tea Party. Yes, it did. Okay. It also included the word progressive.
You're evading my question. 26 Democrats last night voted with Republicans
to do further investigation. 7 times as many did not. This is, again...
So you wouldn't call that bipartisan?
No, I wouldn't call it bipartisan. I'd call it 24 Democrats who are worried about their reelection chances siding with the Republicans. Well, there has not been a shred of evidence connecting this to the administration.
Congresswoman Gillard out in Hawaii, too, in the most liberal district in America, is not worried about her reelection. Congressman Schneider, a liberal Democrat from Chicago, is not worried about his reelection. They're aligned with the actual majority of Democrats in our most recent Fox poll that believe some form of corruption occurred in the IRS targeting of conservative groups, of which, by the way, 60% of of Democrats want more investigation and congressional action. So for the Democrats who voted with the Republicans on this matter, they're actually reflecting the opinion of Democrats in America, by and large, the majority, who do believe something wrong happened here.
Well, two huge stories happening right now, Benghazi and the IRS. We'll continue to follow them, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.